What up? And welcome to another episode of From the Script to the Screen, My Hero Academia Edition. Episode 17 of Season 7 is out now, so as always, you guys already know, gotta shout out the creator, Kohei Horikoshi, and gotta give a shout out to the studio, Bones. We appreciate all parties involved. They cover chapters 379 to 382, and if you watched after the credits, that little scene with Toga, Ochako, and Fruppy was the beginning of 382. So I like the way they added it in there, but they'll get to it next week. With that being said, another dope episode. Full out war. You guys already know Toga invaded everything. With Twice's quirk, she made the battlefield a mayhem. And so now they gotta deal with all that and All For One, because we know he's trying to reunite with Shigaraki. The beginning of the episode starts with a little scene with Lady Nagant, who came in clutch and was able to take out his hands so he wasn't able to use his quirk. And we know Deku, being as intelligent that he is, decides to remove him from the battlefield because even though they got away with it this time, the fact that he's able to use his hands freely means that they can't fight in there any longer. So he got out of there. And with this scene started what I loved most about this episode, and it was the connection of everyone on the battlefield. Again, like I said, we see Lady Nagant come in and she talks about how meeting Deku changed her perspective because, again, she specifically was somebody that started a hero, and the ways of the world just made her change her ways. Add that in with All For One's influence, and we have what happened. But Gentle Criminal is somewhat in the same situation, except that he had no influence from All For One. But it's funny how Shigaraki says that they have flip-flopping hearts and that he doesn't. He's focused on destruction. And that's why I always say shout out to the League of Villains, because I did always love how much they stuck to their code. And with that being said, we gotta shift gears to the big bad, because All For One, who we know is someone who he definitely had his influence on and tried to make him his successor and manipulated him into helping him to achieve his own goal, which is getting back into his glory days, which is another thing that comes full circle, because we see how All For One mentions that the two generations in front of him, the heroes in their mid-20s, maybe early 30s, and the kids that we growing up with all came up under the age of One For All Might, and the age of heroes. So he's saying how they don't know the terror that he's exactly capable of, and we see him extort that. He starts to use more quirks, and it's starting to really show his strength. But we see some other students from another high school, another hero course, come in and also help with the battle. And so you see everybody coming together and trying to do their best to take out the villains, which is something that ties into what happened in the beginning of the episode with Gentle Criminal. And with the students of the business course, you see that they're filming the events of the battle, talking about how they didn't like the public outcry and the fact that they felt like there was a disconnection between the heroes and the citizens. But they understand that the heroes do put it all on the line to try to help the public, and so videographing the biggest battle for the country would help in this cause. And so it was nice to hear their reasoning for wanting to film everything. And speaking of coming together, definitely my favorite panel of the week. Shout out to my boy Dark Shadow. Shout out to Horikoshi and the studio. It's just a cool looking image. We know that Dark Shadow was just born with a quirk, with an entity, that's the best that we could put it, who thrives in the darkness, becomes stronger in the darkness. And so all the elements of the battle coming together made him able to power up for a little bit. And so shout out to Tokoyami performing Light of Baldur. And we see that he's able to damage All For One. So good thing for the heroes. And we'll see what happens next week. As always, let me know what you guys thought about the episode. And to the manga readers, let me know what you guys thought about the adaptation. Till next time, peace.